used to think that Devil Town by Cave Town was the best piece of music ever composed, until on one of those lazy post-exam nights I came across this slowed and reverbed version of it. And fairly enough, the best piece of music ever composed was no longer Devil Town, but Devil Town slowed and reverbed. And from then on, for weeks straight, I've been listening to all these morphed and edited tracks with intentional tape hisses, vinyl crackles, and anime video loops in the background. For some reason, these tracks came with a sense of comfort packaged with them, and it wasn't until I met others like me that I realized that this is the space of lo-fi hip-hop.
Anime was the catalyst that led me to discover this immense world of lo-fi. I enjoyed listening to anime openings to reflect upon the aspects of the show that made me watch it in the first place. One day I came across a lo-fi version of a song I really liked, and I got instantly hooked. It provided me with a sense of calmness unlike anything else I had ever experienced before.
Having been completely immersed in the genre of lo-fi, we really had the curiosity to learn more about it. The term lo-fi, short for low fidelity, that is used to define today's lo-fi aesthetic, came into existence in the 1980s with music that is generally repetitive and slowed down.
We can say that the characteristics of lo-fi are slow beats and repetition. A nice way to define lo-fi music would be that it is intentionally degraded, damaged or scratched to mimic the imperfections of daily life. Music that is passively consumed, acting as white noise to block out distractions, is what lo-fi music is all about, scientifically. But we see it as another distraction that helps us concentrate better. Somehow it is perfect for relaxing, studying, sleeping, or even existing. It's beautiful how the genre has grown into what people actually wanted, and it fits right in. Since lo-fi tracks are low quality and require less efforts to produce than other forms of genres, the barrier to entry has been greatly reduced. Even people like you and me can produce lo-fi music at the comfort of their own homes without any complex instruments. When people at the consumer level contribute to production, they create a product that they actually like. Hence, when someone like you produce, they would create something that someone like you would like. Therefore, everybody finds a comfortable spot in this huge garden of lo-fi, and they spread their mats and lay down and gaze at the night sky, with the music enriching their ears.
While we're talking about what lo-fi music is, it is important to know what lo-fi music is not. Now here come into play another genres that people like you or me might mistake for lo-fi. Hi-fi music. Hi-fi music is the opposite of lo-fi music. Instead of intentionally degrading the sound quality, hi-fi music is produced with the best possible quality and clarity. This often involves using advanced recording and production techniques to achieve a polished and professional sound. Hi-fi music is associated with genres like pop, rock, etc. Nightcore tracks. Nightcore music is a genre of electronic dance music that originated in Norway. It is characterized by its fast tempo and high-pitched vocals. Nightcore tracks are typically remixed versions of popular songs, with tempo increased from about 20 to 30%, and the pitch of the vocals is also increased by a similar amount. Unlike lo-fi tracks where the tempo is actually slowed down, this results in a more upbeat and energetic version of the song that is often used in clubs, parties, and online communities. Binaural beats. Binaural music is a type of music that uses binaural beats to induce a certain state of mind in the listener. Binaural beats are created by playing slightly different frequencies in each ear that creates a wobbling effect, which the brain then processes as a single tone with the frequency equal to the difference between the two original frequencies. It is often used for meditation, sleep enhancement, and stress reduction.
The history of the lo-fi genre can be traced back to the 1950s and 1960s, when artists began experimenting with new recording techniques that produced a raw and unpolished sound. These sounds are characterized by its hiss, distortion, and other imperfections, which gave the recordings a sense of warmth and familiarity. Over the years, these techniques were adapted and evolved by other genres, which led to the emergence of lo-fi hip-hop in the 1990s and the early 2000s. Today, this genre continues to grow and evolve with artists and producers all over the world. However, there have been some artists that have played a significant role in establishing and normalizing the modern lo-fi, notably J. Dilla, Nujabes and Yoko Kanno. Their music has been heavily sampled to create the beats we hear today. J Dilla, who is a key figure in the development of the lo-fi genre, is known for his use of dusty drum breaks and soulful samples. Nujabes, a Japanese producer, combined the elements of jazz and hip-hop to create his signature sound. Yoko Kanno, a composer known for her work on anime openings, is known for her atmospheric instrumentals. These artists and their contributions have helped us shape and define the lo-fi genre as we know it today.
It's pretty shocking to know that the success of lo-fi could not have been possible without the psychological factors behind it. And people like you and me would probably be in awe to realize that there are psychological aspects to this. Often anime GIFs and VHS overlays are used as backgrounds, precisely to invoke a sense of nostalgia in the listener. Anime is something almost everybody used to watch when they were kids. And people who are now in their 20s used to have VHS when they were younger. That is, video home system. And these video home systems were very popular back in the day because they were mainstream at the time. All this combined successfully to make the listener feel nostalgic. Sometimes random clips of a car parked on the roadside, flickering street lights, or clips of raindrops hitting a window pane are used. Because more or less, everybody has experienced these things or has been in these places at some point in their life. And these small moments that everybody can relate to are portrayed. This creates a sense of familiarity and relatability in the listener. These feelings of nostalgia and familiarity are exactly what causes us to find so much comfort in this genre. Japan is a country that has pretty much given birth to lo-fi hip-hop and influences it greatly to this day. Take for example anime. It is practically impossible to click through a couple lo-fi tracks on YouTube without coming across one that has an anime background. Anime alone is responsible for introducing so many new listeners to this genre and is one of the main reasons we resonate with it so deeply. Additionally, the aesthetic of lo-fi, with its emphasis on nostalgia and simplicity, is heavily influenced by Japanese culture, particularly by the concept of wabi-sabi, which is a worldview centered on the acceptance of imperfections and transcendence. Furthermore, Japanese jazz artists and pianists form the groundwork of the entire genre. This has created a sort of cultural exchange where Japanese jazz is repurposed and reinterpreted to create a new style of music. This cross-cultural fusion has helped to make lo-fi hip-hop a global phenomenon. Nujabes, being one of the OGs of the genre, produced old-school lo-fi music that greatly defined today's modern lo-fi aesthetic. There is a reason you see Samurai Champloo and Cowboy Bebop clips being used as lo-fi video backgrounds so much as if they were being glorified. The music for these shows was composed by excellent lo-fi artists, being Nujabes for Samurai Champloo and Seatbelts for Cowboy Bebop.
Let's talk about ways in which lo-fi music can actually provide some benefit to you. It blocks other intrusive noises and distraction. It forms an aural cocoon to provide you with an environment that will help you focus better. For example, you're just sitting here trying to study and there is construction noise from outside. What can I do to remove this distraction? Well, the answer is pretty easy. I could just put on my headphones and start listening to lo-fi music, and that will act as an artificial silence. The next thing I'm going to be talking about is how lo-fi music plays a significant role in acting as a stimulant. It does this by using those environmental noises it has in the lo-fi music to create a blanket that blends the music with the actual environmental noises present. This makes the listener forget that there is actual music. It makes them confused about the reality and the music. It no longer feels like the music is originating from the computer system. It feels like it's there in the environment. It feels like the music is originating from the physical spaces surrounding the person, and that feeling is honestly amazing. Lo-fi plays such a nice role, a significant role in changing a person's mood. If you're sad and you end up listening to some nice beats that remind you of your past or some nostalgic feeling, you're obviously going to get uplifted. I mean, your mood is going to get uplifted. Whenever our mood is uplifted, our productivity will be boosted tenfold. And that's what makes this music so damn good. Lo-fi music is the gateway to the flow state. Whenever I'm doing a task that requires utter concentration and there is lo-fi music in the background, I have noticed that I reached my flow state way earlier. Lo-fi music is also very meditative in nature. We obviously need some scientific explanation for all the bragging we did about the benefits of lo-fi, and we certainly do have one. Lo-fi lies in the grey space where creativity and frustration merge together. Listening to the same track with added rainfall noise over and over again can get pretty frustrating, right? Well, it turns out that it actually doesn't get frustrating. Even if listening to the same song on repeat for hours and hours can logically seem boring and frustrating, but the science and the creativity behind these beats can actually counter that. The drum, jazz, and ambient noises are fun and refreshing to listen to, but at the same time, they're slow and predictable enough to make them subconsciously predictable and easy to forget. This is the reason why you can listen to lo-fi tracks for hours and hours without actually getting bored, because it doesn't actually demand your attention, unlike traditional music, which if you listen to it for a long time it can get very frustrating and boring. But that same thing never happens with lo-fi. A basic lo-fi track consists of a jazzy instrumental sample, drum beat combos, and intentional environmental noises to reinforce and emphasize the imperfections of the genre. It usually has 70 to 95 beats per minute and a frequency range of 200 Hz to 10 kHz. The vinyl crackle, the steady beats, and a specific frequency range creates a sonic environment tuned for focus. The effect of music is not universal. It depends upon the type of person you are and the task at hand you have. It is a very subjective thing. This implies that lo-fi isn't the best type of music to focus. Silence usually is the best option to go for if you want to focus heavily on a subject.
Lo-fi does a great job in capturing the small things of the average modern lifestyle and present it to you in the most beautiful way possible. The charm of the genre lies in the fact that it lets its consumer participate in its making, and when people get the chance to make something, they naturally make it as they like it. And when people have something they like, it takes over the world just like lo-fi has. To explain it how a fan of the genre would, lo-fi is watching clouds drift in the red evening sky, but if it were a song.
How it doesn't actually reach out for anything. After an exhausting day when I just need a friend who'll keep me company but won't ask for anything, I'll turn to lo-fi. Whenever you feel a song can't just get any better, you're yet to discover the lo-fi version of it. I'm usually a great critique of things, but this honestly has me surrendering. It's not just a music genre that is perfect for what it's marketed for. It's a cultural movement, one that has stood the test of time.
I'm sure lo-fi's influence will be felt for years to come.